if I'm a dental practice and let's say I have 10 practices, or I'm aiming for 10 practices, should I buy the land or should I be renting?
Yeah, and that is a question we hear a lot. You're right. And really the answer is it depends. So, there are a lot of factors that break it to decide, like to think through. So I'll just kind of do my best at breaking it down so that anybody in this situation can have better clarity around what to look for. So number one is we're all constricted by the amount of capital that we have, right? Even Bill Gates has said that he wishes he had a year's worth of operating expenses for Microsoft. So we're all limited by capital. So when you are going to make a commercial real estate transaction, it's just a capital intensive business. When they want 25 to 30% down as the down payment, you're looking at a couple $100,000. So maybe you can buy your individual practice, but can you do that next time? Like, how many of those can you do? Because eventually you're going to run out, right? Maybe you can do more than that. Maybe you can do 5, but eventually you come to a point. So it's really the question of scale, right? Like I will say, if you have a single practice and your goal is to just maximize that practice and you don't want to become a DSO, it starts to make a little bit more sense, because now you're not having to allocate, you're not taking away capital that you would normally allocate to growing and starting up new businesses, right? You're diversifying it with the asset, with the underlying building. Now, I'll also say, in addition to that, it's not as much diversification as you might think, because the commercial real estate is largely valued by the tenant and the lease. So it's the credit of the tenant, it's the amount of the lease and the length left. And so what happens is, if something happens to your business and you own the building, not only do you lose all the value of that business, but now you've got no tenant in that building, which is going to drastically reduce the value of that building. So you're not really diversifying as well as you think. Usually the way that we coach it is look for the best location for your practice, period, right? And so look, like in our experience, it's always the more convenient it is for the clients, for the customers, and the more easily accessible it is, the better, right? So look for those couple of things, and then if there's only anything available to buy, then buy it. If there's only anything available to lease, then lease it. But if all things are completely equal and you got 2 stellar locations, then you got to go through and ask yourself those series of questions to figure out how much do you want to grow and scale and which one works better for you.